This is Baja SAE Shop Talk, the official podcast of the Baja SAE series.
Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of Baja SAE Shop Talk. I am Amanda. I'm here with Drew from Baja SAE Oregon. We are heading back there in just a few short days, and we are excited about this site. It's another motocross track, which I know you guys love. This particular site is deep into the woods, which is beautiful. The drive up there is great, and I think that we will have yet another very highly rated event. This was one of our highest rated events 3 years ago. It's actually organized by the SAE Oregon section, which is very active section for including a lot of young professionals that have come out of the Baja program. So that's a really cool tie-in as well. So Drew, thanks for taking the time to talk with us today. And I wanted to talk about the very first change that students that were at 3 years ago. The biggest change is that we're not going to a hotel in Portland this year. We're actually going to be starting the event out at Washougal. So do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for having me on. We're really excited to do this again. 2015 was our last event, and we've been going to other events up until now, but we're really excited to do it ourselves. So as you led on to, we're moving all the trucks and trailers first day up to Washougal. So we don't have to worry about parking at Holiday Inn. People don't have to set up, work on their cars in a parking lot, and then move. Everybody goes straight up to Washougal. Registration, everything's going to be up there on the first day. The sales presentations are going to be down at University of Portland. So there's a little bit of drive there. So people need to plan for that. Unfortunately, there's nothing really in the close vicinity of Washougal for a proper sales presentations. But I think it's going to work out really well. We have a beautiful facility at University of Portland. They've rolled out the carpet for us. It should be really great. And then all the teams, all the cars can be up at Washougal, parked, ready to go. And then that evening, we'll roll into sales presentation finals.
Yeah, let's talk about sales presentation finals. It's something that your group has really committed to. And every event I get asked if there are going to be sales presentation finals. And usually the answer is no. So why does your group love this part of the event so much?
It gives everyone an opportunity to see the teams that are the top three and what they're offering and get a base point of what they can build up to get to that point. It also gives us an opportunity to have 5 judges that have seen teams from all the different rooms come back and reevaluate those top 3 specifically and just score them against each other and not be biased against who has happened to end up in their room throughout the day.
So sales presentations are happening at the University of Portland, and then we are going to have sales presentation finals back at Washougal. Is that going to be something that's open for other students to watch?
Absolutely. In 2015, we opened it up and we had 300 or 400 people, and we had a lot of feedback that people said they were really excited about it, but didn't even know it was public. So it's absolutely public. We encourage all the students to walk over from the paddock and watch. We just ask that people don't record audio or video to respect the privacy of the teams presenting, and that everybody's quiet and respectful. But we definitely want everyone to come and watch and experience it.
That's going to be happening in the main tent?
That will be in the main tent right next to the registration tent.
Okay, so teams that are in finals will have access to a projector and a screen?
We'll have a stage, a projector, a microphone. It's going to be set up similar to like we had in 2015, but a tent on the site. A little bit more Baja this time.
Perfect. So one other thing about Washougal specifically is that they require a separate waiver. What do students need to know about that? So just for clarification, this is different than their fast track waiver.
Yeah, the Washougal site has its own liability waiver. It's included in the competitor packet that's been posted on the Baja SAE site. So every team needs to go on there, download that, print it out, and have every one of their team members that's coming out of the site sign that. We want to have everybody have that ready to go in their truck when they show up to the gate so that we can take the waiver, check off that everybody in the cars signed it, give them armbands, and let them in. If you don't have your waiver, we're going to have to turn you around and put you in the line, and we don't want to slow down the line. So to get everybody on site, parked as fast as possible, nice and smooth, come in with your waiver signed. We'll give you armbands and get you on the site.
You mentioned that we're pretty far out at Washougal from the next closest town. So food options are limited. I hear the organizers are going to be fixing that problem this year.
Yeah, definitely. So in 2015, we had 3 food trucks up there, and it was really popular because, like you said, it's it's not easy to go out to a restaurant or something. The closest is Washougal, and it's pretty small. So we've got 4 really cool food trucks coming to support the event. On Wednesday and Thursday, we'll have Koi Fusion, which was really popular in 2015, Ash Wood-Fired Pizza, Urban German Grill, and Tamale Boy, which are all really good local food trucks. We tried to bring in kind of a flair of Oregon, Washington, local food trucks, which is really big around here. We're also really excited. We're going to be able to offer a $10 voucher to every student to be used on either Tuesday or Wednesday, paid for by the event, to help cover that cost, because we know it's pretty far out and it's going to be hard for people to get access to other food options.
And that they'll also have food available for sale, yes?
Yeah. They have full menus for each of the food trucks.
Awesome. One of my favorite parts of your event is the rock crawl. It's a little bit unique. It's certainly not as vertical as a lot of the rock crawls that we normally see. Do you want to talk a little bit about your rock crawl? What makes it unique?
Yeah, we're pretty proud of our rock crawl. It's definitely challenging. It's a true rock crawl. It's not like a suspension and traction you see at other events. It's literally a big pile of rocks, and it's awesome to watch. We're really trying to turn that into the event to be at. We're going to have music there. We're going to have announcers, past SAE competitors. It's got an awesome viewing area for the spectators, a full circle right around it for photos and video. And we just really want this to be the place to be. We're encouraging every team to try and come and run it, because sometimes people are a little hesitant, and we really want everybody to come out and give it a shot. You want to be seen on this course. It's the place to be. So to encourage teams to run earlier in the day, because if at the end of the day, the line gets really long and it's really hard to get all the teams through, we're offering a raffle of some really awesome prizes donated from some local companies. And if you run before noon, you get extra bonus tickets to the raffle. If you run from noon to 2, you get 1 ticket. After that, we're not sure yet.
To be determined. Okay, so we talked about rock crawl. What does the acceleration look like?
Yeah, acceleration this year, it's going to be running parallel with brake check. It's on a slightly downhill slope on a loose dirt surface.
And your other 2 dynamic events, we've got maneuverability. What can students expect from that?
Maneuverability, it's got a lot of elevation change. It's not a typical flat race around cones. We're really trying to highlight the ability to turn, stop, and take out some of the suspension elements of it. But it's got some elevation change up and down around hills, maybe a couple spin cones, things like that. Yeah, our 4th event's our hill climb, and it's also pretty interesting. It's up a rocky hill that's commonly used by some trials motocross riders to practice on. So it's not just a straight road up a hill. It's got some twists and turns. You really got to pick your line around some rocks and boulders. So it's really going to challenge the teams on just not just torque, but traction getting up that hill.
And finally, what can teams expect from your endurance track?
So as you mentioned earlier, we're excited to use the beautiful Washougal motocross track, but we don't just stop there. We got about half of our 2-mile track on the course, and then half of it outside of the course, through the woods, out in a large field with man-made, built-up obstacles for all types of challenges for all types of cars.
Any idea what the weather's looking like?
So far, it's looking really good. With our history of rain at this event, I'm going to knock on wood, but right now we're looking at mid-70s, dry, and that's about all we can ask for here.
Yeah, sounds like perfect Baja weather.
I think that's really our highlights. We're very excited to have this. We've got a great team this year that's working really hard to put on the best event ever, and we just can't wait to get going.
Awesome. We'll see you in a few days.
All right, thanks.
Thanks for listening to Baja SAE Shop Talk. As always, we want to hear from you, so email bajasae@sae.org. The show notes for this episode, as well as all others, can be found at www.bajasae.net/podcast. Stay safe, and we'll catch you next episode.